We've got a few odds and ends to discuss at the end, but firstly,
Be careful with that cough.
yeah, it doesn't sound too good, does it?
Winter, he's supposed to have a cough.
I should have worn my mask.
Right. Can you see that? Should be a picture of Denny Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then. Well, what I was going to do tonight was just talk you through what myself and Gary, when we're out together, where we go to take some photos of these birds that we've been putting in on the comps, and what we do. Now we do it. It's not a definitive guide that what I'm saying is right. It's just how we do it. It might give you some ideas, and just a way of sharing what we do. So we've been going to Denny Wood for a couple of years now, and for those that don't know, it's out on the Bewley Road when you go into Lyndhurst from Ashurst. Just before you get into Lyndhurst, take the Bewley Road, and it's about 2 miles down on the right, and it's on normal times it is a campsite, but obviously this year the campsite part's been closed, and during the winter months they only open the sort of car park on the right as you go in. But in the car park is where we take some of the pictures. There is a gate, and a lot of photographers congregate and put feed on this gate, and the birds come down, and so you normally get in the front here, you get lots of people stood with their cameras, and also just to the left behind that tree is another spot where we were this afternoon actually. And what the best thing to do is to get all your gear out there and take someone along, like our glamorous assistant here, to put the feed up for you. Saves me a job then. And he's very good, because no sooner as he put the feed there, and the time he's got back to his camera, it's all gone, and I've got the pictures of the birds. So that's where we've been going just lately, and there's quite a few photographers get out there, and they are fairly tame.
So you can see it's not very far to walk.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the cars here, so it's nice and easy. You haven't got too far to go.
And the other thing is the birds, black caps will come and feed out of my hand, land on my fingers and take food.
They obviously don't know you.
Well, God, no.
The other thing is to behind us, there is plenty of room if you want to go, and if you want to go, and as Gary put it last week, he was just going to stretch his back.
Hide behind a tree.
Yes, yes. Anyway, what I normally do, my setup is I take my tripod, and I've got a 150-600 Sigma lens, which is on my camera there, and obviously I mount that onto the tripod. I mount it direct onto the lens because the lens is quite heavy. Normal camera I use is a 5D Mark III, which is full frame, and it's very good for dark scenes. Very good for taking. Pretty good on the ISO. Another mounting method which Gary's got, which is a gimbal, which gives a lot of flexibility in getting the right photo, being able to move your camera about. And a couple of things, obviously the importance of the tripod is that gives you the stability, but also when you're out there for 2 or 3 hours, holding your camera all that time is a bit too bit hard on the arms, and also it makes it a bit easier, and and you get a better, crisper shot. So my 150-600 is a 5 to 6.3. So if I'm using that up to about 300 mil, I can get f5. Over that, the best I can do is 6.3. There are a few controls on that. So I use the autofocus. You've got this switch here where it will restrict the range of your autofocus if you want. I normally leave it on full. Because I've got it on mounted on a tripod, then I turn the stabilization off. And it's also got a custom feature that you can download some software, which I haven't done, so I don't use the custom switch at all.
On the
I was
focus,
going to say, Peter.
what's MO for?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Dave.
On the
Dave,
focus, what is MO in the middle for?
MO is it's manual override, so that if you set it on that, it still uses the autofocus, but if you want to manually focus it at the same time, you can, and it will override the autofocus.
Okay.
I've not actually tried that yet, Dave. I'll be honest with you.
I haven't seen that before.
No, I'll be honest. I take the easiest option.
That's the same with the later Canon lenses. They're autofocus, but automatically, if you touch the focusing ring, it automatically manually focuses and then overrides.
Right. Okay. So that's the same with this. If I put it on MO, I can autofocus, and then if I want to just turn the ring, it will
Just to touch it up.
over it.
And if it's a Canon camera, it immediately goes into times 10 zoom on the viewfinder as well.
Oh, right.
No, if you've only got times 10 zoom, if you have an electronic viewfinder.
Right. Right. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know whether it works with an optical one. I have no idea.
No.
But that's I use it a lot. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've not actually used it yet, Dave. I suppose really ought to bite the bullet and do it, didn't I?
Yeah, because you can find out whether it's useless or not.
Yeah. Or, more to the point, find out if I'm useless or not.
Oh no! I can tell that.
know that already.
Focus.
Yeah. Thank you, Jackie.
Sorry, I was going to say you should.
Oh yeah, sorry, Terry. Go on.
The people never used a gimbal before. You should explain that it's a matter of balancing it. That's the advantage, is that if you carefully adjust it, you get the lens perfectly balanced, and there's no friction, and you just point the camera up or down, and it stays where it is.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. I mean, obviously you can turn it round, but also you get the center of gravity in line with that horizontal shaft that goes through.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I mean, my long lens, I've lent it to Gary to give it a try, but he's never offered me the use of his gimbal, Terry. So I've never used one.
Well, that's the point. If you get it balanced perfectly, there's no friction. You don't. I mean, they've got friction knob adjusters, but you can have them quite loose, so it's very easy to turn. And when you let go, it'll stay where it is.
Oh,
The only thing that sort of messes it up, if you've got a zoom lens where the lens extends, then that upsets the balance depending on where you zoom. So
right.
That's the whole point of having the gimbal. It's basically quite sort of nice, and the heavier the lens, the better, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? A lot easier to operate.
You don't like a ball joint. You don't, a ball head. You'd have to undo it and adjust it, and then tighten it back up again. And it'll sag or something. So gimbal's got a lot going for it, really, for big lenses.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was all.
No, that's fine. So the other thing I have set up on my camera is I do the back button focusing using the AF on button. Now, I think we did touch on this a few months back, and if you go on YouTube, there's lots of videos on there will show you how to set that up on your camera if your camera allows you to do it. I think most of the current DSLRs do, and going back a few years,
I use back focus button.
You do?
Yeah. When I remember to use it.
Well, that's it. It's like everything. It does take a bit of getting used to, and you need to persevere with it, and then it's become second nature. But the good thing with bird photography, I've found, is, especially like where we've set up on the tripod, you've got everything set. I don't tend to try and muck about too much with zooming in. I get the length I want to use, I get set up, and then if you're using the back button, autofocus back button, focus on the part of the tree where the bird's going to be, and then leave that alone. And then when you're taking the photo, you don't have to worry about the camera trying to focus, and at that time, obviously losing the focus point that you want. So that's the main reason I use it, but I use it all the time now.
It's also a lot faster, isn't it? Because if you've got focus on the shutter button, you get focus fire every time you press.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got back focus only enabled, then you just get fire all the time without a delay.
Yeah, you can just concentrate on clicking away, really.
You can if you've got enough depth of field.
Well, that is
what you're shooting is in the same place all the time. I mean, that's a disadvantage.
That is the one slight downside of it. But then, that's just one of those things. The birds are moving so fast. It's quite tricky sometimes. So, and then the other thing I've done, which I've set up the custom settings on my camera, and so that I don't have to remember each time I go out to take some bird photography what the settings are going to be. I've set those up. Now, I don't think not every camera's got this, but I think the majority of them have. So it's a case of setting up your settings, and like if you want to freeze birds in flight, which is what I've been trying to do, you need a minimum of 0.002 of a second to get them nice and sharp, and the feathers and the wings still. And use the owl servo. I use center weighted average for the
Okay.
Focus.
Yeah. And I've got it on high speed, silent photography pictures, and also the ISO. I set it at 640. That's a good starting point, because when you're using the camera, you could always change it, but so it's that setting. It's on your knob there. I've just got C3 set with those settings, so that I know when we get there, I can put it straight on C3, and I'm ready to go with bird photography. Take a few photos and just check the exposure. So what you do, if you're not familiar with it, is set it, go on manual, set those figures in, or whatever your preferred settings are. Choose the customized setting, and then find it on the menu, custom shooting mode. Go in on that, register the settings, and then you can choose which one you want to use, C1, C2, or C3, which in the case I've done is I've used C3. Then that saves it onto your camera until you change it. So you could use 1 and 2. 1 you could use if you want it for landscapes. 2 you could use 2 for something else. It's just a way of saving a bit of time, and you don't have to then start trying to remember what your settings that you want for that particular type of photography is. The other thing I've done is I've purchased a travel bag, which is a normal carry-on flight bag, which is it's a Lao Pro one, and it's got padding, and it's got very sturdy sides, and all my kits just sits nicely in there. It takes my camera and the long lens sit in the middle, and that's good to bang in the boot of the car, so you got everything with you then. And the other thing that we make sure we always take is some peanut butter, and we've normally got some bird seed as well. And like you saw earlier, you get your assistant to put the bird feed down, and the birds. The good thing about this, over seeds, obviously you can paste this on, but it gives off a nice smell, and I think it's the smell that the birds pick up, and that's what gets them down on the tree. That seems to attract them. We've been finding the last few times we've been that they eat all the peanut butter and leave the seeds, So I think it's the peanut butter, the smell of it that gets them down there.
Have you tried Marmite peanut butter?
No.
That gets me going on the trees as well. Yeah.
Now, a couple of things. One thing is like here we got this. This was taken on that fence on the gate that we showed you, and you'll find that when you get out there, if you want to go out there and try it, there's lots of dead bits of wood that people have collected and have fixed into the top of the posts. But one thing, as you can see there, it was on a lucky day when the 2 woodpeckers came down. But people, as well as us, have obviously put food on, but they've put food all the way along that branch. And the issue with that is, obviously, you then get the birds all the way along. And if you're looking to take a particular close-ups, you really want to concentrate on putting it on the end here, I'd say, so that you don't get them stopping all the way along, feeding themselves. Obviously, we put some food down there, and that's given us a lovely picture of that woodpecker. So you can see he's eating the food, the peanut butter that we put down. But those are fairly straightforward to take, those photos, because as long as you're still and keep out the way, that the woodpeckers will come down. We had 2 of them down this afternoon, and we were quite close to the log that we showed you at the beginning. But what I've been trying to do recently, and the reason I've got my lens and set up the way I have, is to try and get the birds in flight, either taking off or landing. There's a few examples I've got here. It's a robin on one of the posts. And we're trying constantly all the time, is just trying to get them in flight, because it just seems a bit more dynamic and a bit more interesting than the bird just being still like we've got there, which is nicely exposed, and it's a lovely colouring on it. But it is nice, I think, to get it in flight. We got the robin there, just perched on the post. And then this is what we've been trying to do for the last couple of weeks, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah.
And
that's come together well.
The other thing, I've got my camera all set up, I've got it focused. I normally focus it around the top there. And obviously, depending on the light, is to what aperture I'm going to get. But it's trying. I also use a wired remote control, because I find if you once you've focused and done your back button focus on the part of the tree that you think the bird's going to land at and where you've put the food, I then tend to stand back a bit, because it's a bit easier to see what's going on and see these birds that are in flight. You sort of catch them at the corner of your eye coming in, and of course you just click away and hope for the best. I'd say that normally if we're there for 2 or 3 hours, we probably take the thick end of 1,000 photos. And out of that, I'd say I'd be quite happy and probably quite lucky to get maybe 2 that I could use, maybe 3. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with some of them. It's just the birds aren't in flight, or they're not doing anything that's of any interest, really.
Can I ask why you don't use manual focus? The reason I ask is because with my camera, if I use back focus or forward focus, it makes no difference. If the camera goes into standby, then the focusing is lost. Whereas if it is in manual focus and it went into standby, the focusing is held the moment I press the shutter and it comes back alive again.
Right. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I've just that is just the way I've always done it. I don't think my camera loses the focus if it goes off.
Okay.
I certainly haven't come across that. And obviously with the back button focus, as soon as you're ready to press the
Electronic shutters.
touchscreen,
Fine. Yeah.
it's not going to affect the focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's answered the question. Yeah. It doesn't work. It doesn't cause the problem with your camera setup.
No, no. As far as I know, it doesn't. The problem is, Dave, we're knocking out so many photos. We've probably done it not very often. It goes off, and I do check every so often.
Yeah.
I'll check the photos on the
Yeah.
just to see what we've taken.
Mind you, if you're doing 1,000 frames in 3 hours,
Yeah.
that's what 300 an hour in round figures. That's a lot of fighting. It probably never goes into standby.
It doesn't very often.
No, I understand.
We stop for the odd coffee, and I help Gary set his camera up again properly so that he can start taking his.
Where you're saying you stand back to be able to see the birds.
Yes.
I have the same problem with using long lens for air shows.
Yeah.
Have you tried a thing called a dot sight? Olympus make one.
No, I've not heard of that. What's
if it's in the hot shoe?
Yeah.
And you need to calibrate it to get the focus point the same as your lens.
Yeah.
But then you've got much more visibility, and once the target is in, like the crosshairs on the dot sight, it's just start firing.
Oh, what's it called?
A dot sight.
Dot sight. Oh, right. Okay.
They call them red dot sights usually because it's a red
dot
laser.
sights.
But
no,
basically, it's a graticule you can look through, and the graticule is actually a hologram.
Right.
And there's a little laser LED that projects a sight onto the graticule, and it's got the property that if you move your viewpoint side to side because of the hologram thing, the target moves in the opposite direction, so you end up always ends up looking at the same thing, if you see what I mean. They use it for pistols and rifles.
Oh, right. Oh, I know. Yes, I think I know what you mean.
And you can buy. I actually bought one for the sort of cheapest ones. Went for guns, or you can get for about 16, 17 quid.
Oh, right.
But getting that onto a hot shoe is a bit of a pain. I bought an adapter to put it on a hot shoe, and that was like 12. No, it was like 12 quid for the adapter to put it on a hot shoe, and
I see. Right.
Cost 16 quid.
The one thing
the Olympus one, there's about 70 quid, I think. Yeah.
The one thing we haven't tried when we've been out there is triggers.
Yes.
Just posted on the chat a quick screen grab of the Olympus dot sight.
Oh, right. Okay. Lovely. Oh, 1 minute. Right. Yeah. So we were out there today. Out there this afternoon because I wanted to take a few more pictures for this evening, and the woodpecker was there. He came down. We had the blue tits were about. They came down, and there was I think that's a great tit. I get confused with these birds. I need to.
It is a great tit. Yeah.
It is a great tit. Great. I'm getting better with it, Barry. And then there was a nuthatch. This is just some of the ones that I was taking this afternoon. I haven't done anything. These are the raw files that were taken. We were just out there for a couple of hours because it was nice sunlight today. So we had the nuthatch. I think that's a willow tit, I believe. I'm not sure. Does anybody know what that is?
Black and white one.
Black it is, but yeah, he's black-headed, isn't he?
Bird.
Do what, John?
I said it's a bird.
It's a bird, yes. I am privileged that you're here tonight, John, because I know you don't like bird photography.
No, I don't like birds.
I've got to say, I know the reason why. I looked earlier. There's nothing on telly tonight. You thought this would be more fun, didn't you?
You know what it is, Pete?
Yeah.
It's a peanut centre.
Is it? And the robin was out there. And there was a squirrel. And that's one thing that you will get lots of when you're doing photography. That is a nice picture of the woodpecker in flight.
Just that he hasn't got there.
arguing in flight with a nuthatch. Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so bloody quick you can't see it.
I know. If anybody wants any pictures of logs like that, I've got one or two that they can have.
Probably another 987.
Well, it's not far off, Dave, I'll tell you.
That's the nature of bird photography, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got any without the blue sky?
Eh?
Have you got any without the blue sky?
What, in the back?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, there's one.
Can somebody give me some advice here a minute?
Yeah, sure.
I've had a look at the dot site, the JPEG that was put on chat, and now I can't get the big screen back again. I've got you down the right hand side, but how do I get?
If you hover over at the right hand side somewhere, it will give you somewhere to. I think it's bottom right of the little box. You click that, it's an arrow, I think. Click that, and it comes back full screen. Got it?
No.
Top right, isn't it?
Well, is it? It depends what you've got. You got just a little box in the top right hand corner of your screen.
Yeah, it's top right on mine. Yeah.
Well, I've got like a screen with well, that's mucked it up completely. That has.
Does it say swap shared screen with video?
No, I think what have you got? Just a little box with just one person in.
Well, I've got several people, but I mean, I've got icons along the top. One says hide thumbnail video, the other says show sharing view, and another one says show thumbnail view.
Try this. Have you clicked on them all?
Yeah. And I can't, you know.
It should be show sharing view, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it should be.
Yeah.
Can you show your screen, Roy, and then we might be able to see how to figure it out? Share screen.
Well, I've got no way of doing that because I can't get.
I think that's
Can't find the button. Find the green button somewhere.
Surely you're taking the piss there, aren't you? Press the button when you can't get the screen. Good plan.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that
Control Alt Delete.
I've got up now. I've got Zoom, you know, bar at the top, and it's got meeting view, edit, window, help.
Well, it's got meeting view. Click on meeting view.
Have you clicked on speaker view at the top?
I think I've been trying to exit and then request another join.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, if you can't do it,
try that.
Come out and
start again.
Start again, and I'll let you back in again.
All right. Okay.
Rest assured, you ain't the first one that's done that. I know someone else who's done that, haven't they, Peter? Once or twice.
It's quite easy to do.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got it. I think I've got back now.
Got it?
Yeah, I just went. Yeah, okay.
Got it. Should be a picture of a branch of wood with nothing on it.
No, I've got a picture of you.
Right.
With your hand on your face.
Yeah.
Not now.
I was holding my head up.
Oh, okay.
Have you got the picture now?
No. Ah.
Was it minimised down the bottom?
No, I've got along the bottom. I've got mute, stop video, participants 22, chat, share screen is lit up in green, record reactions. Got a leave.
Press share screen then if you can get share screen button.
Share screen.
Oh wait a minute! If you want,
well, he can't because Peter already is. But
yeah, exactly.
But can you? Haven't you got a very top right? Haven't you got a view button? It only appears when you mouse over it as well.
If I click view, yeah.
I had this. that one, haven't you got swap video and shared screen or something? Possibly that's what.
Well, if I click
some
view, all
options
I've
on there.
got is show manage participants and show chat. What about if I show chat? No, I don't want that, do I? Because that's
No,
what got me
try
in
the other
trouble.
one then.
View, show manage participants, and I've got a list of people. That's not what we want.
Oh goodness.
See, this was all blooming Dave's
Fine
fault.
until you looked at the dot site.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why can't you share the
If you
screen,
remind-
Roy?
Because I'm sharing.
Just swap back, can't you?
Well, you can do this. I'll stop share.
Probably.
Press share, Roy, and let's have a look at your screen.
So look what you got, buddy.
Hang on. Right, I've allowed you to share now. Hi, Claire.
Well, I'll just whistle in the background.
Oh, we've got a cat.
Yeah, thing
that's
is,
the cat.
I don't think you're going to see the Zoom. Nobody ever wants to share their own Zoom screen, do they? I think that's the whole point. Is that if you're on
Yeah,
Zoom,
over
you
this
share
side,
something that isn't Zoom.
I've got the small things, and I've got various buttons here, but they don't seem to do anything. Well, no, they don't do.
Yeah,
what I
we're
want
just
it to
seeing your
do.
desk. We're just seeing your desktop. We're not seeing the
Yeah,
Zoom.
we're not seeing your Zoom bit. What you'll have to do, Roy, come out, close down,
Let's put. Should I put Zoom?
and rejoin.
Yeah, stop sharing as well. Or when you
Yeah.
rejoin, you'll probably. I was going to say I've got a photo. It's in one of mine, but it's another one like the one you just showing, Peter. I'll share it quickly if you like. It's one of the.
Houston, we have a problem.
We need to open it back and then share the screen.
We're still watching you, Roy. You're still sharing.
How bizarre.
So I'm waiting for you to let me in now, I suppose.
Well, no,
Well, we all
if
can
you
see
haven't
it, so
come,
it must be in.
you haven't disconnected yet.
Well, because we can
We're
sort
still
all
seeing your.
three.
Yeah, we're still seeing your screen. Right? Doesn't something come up at the top say stop sharing?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Now I've got Peter and Dave.
Can you see us all in the middle? Roy?
Actually, that might be working now.
Right, okay, let me just...
Can I just quickly share this one?
Go on,
Because it's
yeah.
funny. This is not my shot, but it's a red arrow shot.
Yeah,
Is that
perfect.
showing?
Exceptional.
Yeah, you.
We can see lots of sky.
You really cracked that, didn't you?
That just made everybody laugh that saw it. It's not mine, but I thought I'd share it.
I've got a lot like that.
Yeah, a bit like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah,
was even faster.
Can you see that now, Roy?
Yeah, it's like the one I've got, the red arrows with them actually crossing. And two judges that have seen it, they both said, well, they didn't ought to be crossing like that. They're too close together. And you think, flipping heck, you know, they've got a closing speed of whatever. And it took brilliance to get it actually crossing. And then they say it's no blooming good. Anyway, sorry.
Judges for you, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, as we were saying, or as I was saying, that's what you'll end up with, lots of pictures like that. And the other thing you end up with is lots of photos like that, bit like the red arrows we just seen, where you got a lovely bird in flight here, but he's not quite in the frame. They don't behave themselves sometimes. But of course, that's how tame they are. My glamorous assistant here was putting the feed
Cold
down.
tit, isn't it?
Eh?
That's a cold tit, isn't it?
I don't know.
Wasn't very warm.
It certainly wasn't this afternoon.
But it just shows you how tame the birds are. So you can get quite close to them and you're putting the feed out and they're already down trying to get it out. Well, like he has there. Gary,
There's
how it's
another
out.
one coming in from the left. But
Yeah, it's another one waiting down here,
waiting.
waiting for his turn.
Is that one with the peanut butter or is that with seed?
That's the seed.
Oh, right.
he was taken out of the bird was taken out of Gary's hand. And this is just
that's nice.
This is just a few of the ones. I took that one last week. I haven't put that in a comp yet. So if you see that in one of the PDIs next year, feel free to mark it highly.
Nice picture.
And this is some of the others where I've managed to get. These are all taken. I have just changed it slightly down the bottom here because it didn't have the tail on, and the judge said that it was too close to the corner. But it's just nice where the blue tit's coming in, and you got the eye connection between the two of them. And that was when Robin was sat out there a bit scraggly, and this one was lovely.
They were just about to kill each other, probably.
Well, I think they were having a little think about it. And that was when they had the robins sat over the top of the woodpecker. And as you can see, we put the feed down there. That's the only issue you got sometimes. They get a big mouthful or they get it all over themselves. It does detract a bit. So you might, from the photo, so sometimes you might need to just tidy it up a bit.
Yeah, I usually try and hide the food so you can't see it.
Yeah, we try our best, but other people are there as well, Roy, sometimes, and they
I know, yeah.
go and pile it on, and it's a bit difficult to tell them.
What you can do is get an old log like you've got there.
Yeah.
And back of it, get like when you have a mince pie or whatever, you get a little foil cup.
Yeah.
If you make that in the right sort of shape, you can fix that on the back of the log, so you can put food in it, but you can't see it from the front.
Yeah, good idea, isn't it?
Peter?
Yes, Colin?
I've got the book open here, and the nearest I can see to it is a willow tit.
It is a willow tit, is it? Yeah,
that's what it looks. I don't know if you can see this.
No, not at the minute while I'm sharing. Just a sec. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Share. Now we can see it. Where are you? Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah. I got my book out this afternoon and thought it was a willow tit.
Yeah, that's the nearest I've got to it.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything else, unless anybody knows any different.
No, nothing else.
And that was one last week. I haven't done anything with this photo yet, but the woodpecker was down on this. He was down by these mushrooms and what have you, fungi, and I was waiting patiently for him to take off. And I sort of got him just as he was about to take off. And then, of course, when I got home, I was saying to Gary, "Oh, look, I think I've got it. I think I've got it." When you look on the back of the camera, it looks all right. And then when I get home, I see that there was a blackbird.
Blackbird.
Bit
of photobombing.
Yeah, frustrating, isn't it? So I might be able to change that. If on Photoshop, I might be able to get that to look as if it's the shadow of the woodpecker. I'll have to do some work on it.
See, you're not allowed to do that with nature shots, are you?
Not if you're putting it in as nature, no. If you've actually entered a nature competition, there's very little you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
Although they've relaxed it recently, I think.
Yeah, they've relaxed it quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, they're allowing you to what is it they said, Colin? You can remove small obstructions or something.
Yeah, obstructions.
Something like that, isn't it? Worded something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's just leaves it open, doesn't it? Because what's a small obstruction?
Blackbird.
Gary.
I think technically the woodpecker's obstructing the blackbird.
You could be right. And there's some other places we've been. We went out last year, I think it was myself and Kerry and Gary. We went over to Brambridge Garden Centre, and opposite there is the owl. It's not a sanctuary. It's a little shed where he brings his owls every day.
Yeah, it's a daycare, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was a picture that I took of the owl flying through the trees. But it's always nice to get the pictures as clear, as near to the natural state as you can. But was an edit of that. He was training it along a wire. So what I've done is I've used Photoshop to take the wire out, and the wire hot on the back. I've left a little tag around it, the little loop around his leg there. But that became that after a bit of photoshopping. So that's sometimes it's quite nice to do that, fiddle around with them.
I don't think that would be allowed.
No, that wouldn't be allowed. No. And then I had this one.
The concept of the picture.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than a small obstruction, and that I got changed into that. But the problem I did have, one of the things I was trying before when I set my camera up, was using the long lens again, but I put because it was a bit dark there that day, and we were under the canopy of these trees, and the birds were flying in from afar and then landing on this. So we were trying to they're moving so fast, you're trying to catch them, trying to get everything focused on where they're going to actually be. And I put, because it was a bit dark, I put the ISO on automatic, and it whacked the ISO up to 12,800. That's a bit grainy. I've since, I think it was Colin Leach said to me to stick it back through the camera raw filter, and I've reduced that noise quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's just one of the pitfalls. Sometimes you think, oh, I'll put the ISO on auto, thinking it will go up to maybe 1,000 or 1,600 or something, and it whacked it straight up to 12,800. And of course, when I looked at it on the back of the camera in the viewfinder, it looked great. But of course, it's a bit too noisy. And this is one that I've got going in to the New Forest this week. I've had it in last month, and he said a few things that were wrong with it. But that I've got sat on that post, and that was the original photo. So
can I suggest you might want to try Topaz denoise?
Yeah, for the thingy, for the noise on it.
Yeah, I worked with a professional landscape photography, one of these sort of one-day sessions that you pay the shed loads for.
Yeah.
But one of the things I picked up from that, and he was talking about noise, and he actually said that Topaz denoise, I haven't done exhaustive testing at that time, was the very best there was. And I bought it on the basis of that. And I must admit, it's really, really outstanding. It ain't cheap, but it gets rid of noise.
Yeah. Oh,
when you say not cheap, how much is it?
Well, if you get it on Black Friday, it'd be a bit cheaper. But it was about, when I bought it, it was about £70.
Oh, yeah.
But that didn't strike me as excessive, because it came with free updates.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound too bad, does it?
No.
If you've got one that you want me to, if you want to send that to me, and I'll put it through Topaz denoise, and you can get an idea.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, thanks.
Yeah, because you can either say, well, that's a load of crap, I could have done better myself, well, that's wonderful, I'll rush off and buy it. But, yeah.
I know. Yeah, so there's that one, and that I had photoshopped it from that. So it's quite pleasing when it doesn't look too bad. And round here, it doesn't look as if it's on somebody's arm, does it?
Very good.
Mm.
And then the other place we've been, obviously, which I think quite a few people have been to, is the Hawk Conservancy. We're in Andover. We went up there early in the year, and you obviously get a chance to take some photos of the owls flying through the trees and the eagle.
That's nice.
They have the eagle coming down. They put a piece of chicken, I think it was, they put down on the water, and we were sat right by that. I've got some lovely photos of just the water as well, if anybody wants any.
And this invisibly created ring of water circling out from the spot in the middle.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that was at the Hawk Conservancy. So you get a chance to take some nice close-ups of the owls. just sat on the post in between flights, which are quite, I like to get I like the eyes. Another place we've been to is the Wildlife and Wetlands Trust down at Arundel. And so you got the egrets down there. They get in amongst, got one there with a dragonfly. You can get fairly close. That lens comes in quite handy for that. And the one thing Ray's after, and what I've been after for quite a few years, is the kingfisher. So I was happy that he obliged and came and sat on the tree. But they move so fast and they don't normally hang around long. But I did get him. I don't know if you can see it there. I managed to get him in flight just after he took off. But that gives you an idea of how far away we were. That zoomed in at 600 mil.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be sharp enough. That's zoomed in and it's not quite there, I don't think.
No, but sometimes you don't give a damn, do you? You got the picture you wanted.
It was just nice to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're lovely birds. And then the other place is obviously, we were talking today, went up a couple of years ago up to the Farne Islands, and you got all the penguins. Puffins. I knew it began with P. You got the puffins and the terns there. So that's just a few. There's some more puffins. They're nice and friendly, aren't they? They look lovely, like them. So that's just a few of the. So that just gives you. That's just a little rundown, really, of what we get up to when we're out at Denny Wood.
Peter.
Yes.
Have you ever thought of Lymington, down by the water at Lymington? You know, down by the quay, where there's a parking and there's a pub and all the rest of it. You get lots of nice little gulls there, and they're always taking off, and people are throwing food to them and all the rest of it. So, sort of handhold shooting gulls in the air is quite good there.
Yeah, yeah. We were always looking for different places to go.
Down in the salt pans at Lymington, you get quite a lot of egrets and herons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been down there a couple of times.
Bit of a walk though.
Yeah.
So which part of Denny Wood you go to? Where is it with relationship to the caravan park then?
It's sort of to the right hand side of it. As you drive into Denny Wood.
Yeah.
You might have missed it at the very beginning. I was saying at this time of year.
Yeah, I go around my daughter's on a Tuesday for an evening meal,
Yeah,
so
no
I'm always a bit late.
At the moment, the gate to the caravan park is closed.
Yeah.
Now all you do, you go into it. It points you to the right, and you go in, and the car park runs down the side of the caravan park. So
okay,
that's where we've got the. Let me just go back. So that's where you've got the fence is on the right as you go in.
Yeah.
It's effectively on the side of the car park, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That is actually in the car park. You can see the shadow there of Gary's car this afternoon. So we were parked there.
I thought that was Gary.
So did I.
Actually, yeah, you got a point.
Cruel, heartless bunch you are.
Yeah, see that gap there between the post and I squeeze through there, and Gary has to climb over the top.
Well, good for Gary that he can actually manage to get his leg over, so to speak.
I have to help him.
Too much detail. Too much detail.
There you go. So that gives you an idea, Dave. There's the tree that we were taking photos on. Here's our cars, and behind the cars there, all over there, behind Gary, is where the caravans normally parked up.
Okay.
But it's closed at this time of the year. But obviously this year, because of COVID, it was closed all summer. I think last year we went out there and you couldn't get anywhere near this gate because it was, even the car park was full of caravans and people parked up. But you could still get through to take the photos. It just meant there's a lot more people about.
Regarding kingfishers,
yes,
Ray sent me a fantastic video, and I want to send the link in case you want to circulate it to people.
Yeah.
But it's a video of someone who, first of all, he finds out whether a kingfisher is on the river. So he tells you what to do, where to sit, and how long to wait, and where to look to find whether a kingfisher is on the river. He then has a way of finding an open space in the river. He wades out. He puts a branch as a perch in the middle of the river, and he says he guarantees that a kingfisher will land on that perch because it's a new convenient perch with a good line of sight to the rest of the river, and it will be drawn to it like a magnet. And of course, if it doesn't catch anything, it won't come again.
Oh,
so
right.
you get one go at it. So he wades out into the river, erects his perch, gets his hide, and sits there. And 2 minutes later, he's got a picture of a kingfisher. So it's a video to watch.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Can I share because I've been dying to show someone this one of mine. Can I share my screen and show you what I've got?
Probably not, Dave. We need to move on.
Okay.
Carry on, mate. Carry on.
I'm not sure how I can show a photo, but let's just let me just. We're written on that one then.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Very nice. Yes.
Very nice.
Where did you take that, Dave?
I took it with a guy out just off the M27. He's got his own private nature reserve.
Oh, right.
I got about 100 like that.
Lovely.
And it cost a few bob because it costs a few bob.
Yeah.
But let me just rotate that one. But if 3 or 4, he's got 2 hides there. But if two or three people wanted to go there, I can't rotate that one. But I was so this was done with a Sigma 150-600, and you can actually see the damned web underneath the bird. I couldn't believe my luck.
No, it's lovely, isn't it?
It was an amazing evening out. It cost me 100 quid, and it was worth every single penny.
I think I remember you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Is that Otterbourne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let you know, the kingfisher's been over at between the White Swan and Wood Mill along that river, about halfway along. The kingfisher is often seen across there too.
You see,
I was there this afternoon, and there was about 20 photographers on that bend waiting for him to show.
All right.
See, this again is what you saw. This is a sequence taken out of about an hour and a half's photography.
Right.
But fortunately, it was the same bird. All of them were all of them were the male, because the male's got the black beak, and the no, I can't remember which way around it. One's got a red beak, one's got a black beak.
Right.
But that was the one. That one there is the one that I was really chuffed about. That again, as you say, was 1/2000th of a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it exposed the water and everything.
Yeah.
That was one of. Yeah, it's like you said. It's one of life's ambitions, and I thought, so to hell with it. I'm getting old enough. I better get this ambition out of the way, or I'm never going to bloody make it. You know. But, But there you are. Anyway, if anybody wants to follow up on that and perhaps get a club do out there for 4 or 5 people, it's obviously a lot of people when you got more people.
Yeah. That might be an idea, might it, when we're allowed to get out again?
Yeah, well, I'll get in touch with Peter. I mean, he's a friend of mine, but he still charged me.
Yeah. You're not a very good friend, Dave, is he?
But anyway, I'll go. I've been dying to show those to someone for ages.
Oh, they're great.
Very nice. Very nice.
Should I put it in the club? Because birds seem to do well in the club competitions.
Yeah. Apart from when John marks them.
Peter, let me correct you. It's not that I don't like birds. I don't like photographing them.
You don't like photographing them? We'll have to come out to Denny Wood with us, John, one afternoon.
Oh, I've been out there a number of times, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I've
to
been
do
out,
it properly, I
definitely.
mean, not with Colin.
No, I used to go caravanning.
Keith, you were going to say something.
Oh, I couldn't hear from Dave where he took those photographs.
I'll find out the exact details and the contact bloke.
Pete Weldon.
I can sort of I can describe it, but I can't remember where the hell it is. But I can find out where it is.
I'll send
He's
you a
lucky-
link, Keith, because we know of him. Gary's been there before, I think.
Yeah, it's Pete Weldon.
Yeah, and he's got the garage.
That's right, yeah.
I just
Keith,
put it in chat.
Keith, if you look on the chat,
Yeah,
Gary's just put the address up.
I'm scared to, otherwise I'll be,
You
taking
should be all right.
the meeting, getting stuck.
You're talking about the guy in Otterbourne, were you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to live right just around the corner from him.
Yeah.
I'll send that link out to everybody so that you've got it.
Just a bit of background. What he did is he owns a garage on the main drag, and the big landlocked bit behind it, which they could never build on it because it was locked on all four sides. So he bought it, and over 15 years, because it had a river through it, over 15 years, he's turned it into his own private nature reserve. And because he, as you've done, instead of feeding the logs, he feeds the river, that's the very small river that goes through it. And that's, I mean, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah.
Sylvia, he's got owls as well, hasn't he, Sylv?
Yes, he's still got owls because he started off with owls originally because he's one of the few licensed people in the south of England who's allowed to keep owls because he takes ones that have been damaged or kept captive. He's got one that can't fly because some previous nasty owner plucked all the flight feathers from it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the sort. He certainly doesn't make any money out of it. He's built a flight cage which is about twice the size of a 5-bedroom detached house, just to let the owls fly free in it. But yeah, if it might be worth maybe a follow up with the club at some time.
Yeah,
I'd certainly go again.
I think he also belongs to Winchester Camera Club.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
There's a surprise. He probably wins all the competitions for wildlife.
Absolutely.
Is that right? I heard that's got about 160 members, the Winchester one. Is it the Winchester one?
It's very big.
Yeah, it is that one then.
Very big.
160, that's a lot, isn't it?
It is, yeah, very big. And the seating arrangement is terrible on your legs.
Yeah.
It's like a cinema.
It is, yeah, the seats are too close together and you don't have any leg room.
Yeah. Well, to our size, it's more...
Oh yeah, they pull the whole rows of seats and they just pull them forward and you've got they're all tiered.
Oh, right.
It's very good. You've got a stage there and everything, but yeah, there's too many people for my liking, and also it's too cramped.
Yeah.
It's not as friendly either as us.
No, definitely not.
I went there with Ferg and Brian to watch one of the league matches.
Yeah.
And the judge was Leo, what's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was the one time he didn't do us any favours.
Hey, Leo doesn't do New Forest any favours.
No.
Ever.
I haven't looked at the website, which I never saw. I bumped into him in a car park while he had a fistful of photographs, and I stopped him in his tracks. But the hire of the hide is now £150 per person. But yeah. Oh, that's per day. I was only there for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
We could do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely worth looking at in the new year when we might all get back together someday.
I wonder if you could hire it for the day between several people and have like 2 hours each of that day. You know, sort of like one person goes in 8 to 10, the next one has 10 to 12, and
Well, as you say, get a price for the day for the club.
Yeah.
With a maximum of X people per session or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd certainly go again. So if you do, I'd certainly go again. Yeah. Anyway, I dropped that one into the spanner in the works. For those people who are a similar age group who've got a burning desire, kingfisher on their bucket list.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, well, we got that one I got down there. Like I say, he wasn't very close. And right in front of the hide, they've put a branch there for, I guess, for the kingfisher to land on. But we were there for a couple of hours and he never came anywhere near it. Probably like you said, Davey, if he lands on it once and doesn't get a feed off of it, he doesn't go back.
How old have we got to be for this bucket list, Dave?
Oh,
well, I started formulating my bucket list when I was 50, but it's still just getting pretty long all the time.
Still growing.
I think you're okay. I think you qualified, Colin. You're okay.
I haven't got a big enough bucket.
Well, that sums it up really well. I just need a bigger bucket to put more things into my list, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one that you might try is the Galapagos. That's worth a trip. That's gone quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading a chat message. I can't. Unfortunately, I'm a bloke. I can't multitask.
Sylv, there's another one that does dormice. Where was that, Sylv?
Oh, that was down in Dorset.
Yeah.
I can tell you the name of the guy in a minute. He's called Dean Mason.
That's right, yeah.
I went there for a day with my daughter-in-law and we booked him for the whole day. And he's got a place where there's a pond. Well, not a pond, but he's got water there, a small pond, and quite a few birds, kingfishers there as well, squirrels, etc. And then he's also got another, like a tank, and he puts flowers in for the field mice to crawl up and whatever. So I've got some, I'll show you some photograph of field mice next time.
Yeah.
But he was quite good as well.
When we can travel, is there, that's a suggestion. I mean, one of the great things, and I still haven't paid because nobody's had much to pay. But one of the great things about this club, you keep on threatening, but you haven't.
No, oh, well, okay.
You make a quick note.
Yeah, I'm just writing that down.
And I'm not joking, I'm very happy. But one of the great things, I've only been here in the club a short while, is this club actually goes out and does things rather than sitting in a room and pontificating. I know we're in a special circumstance at the moment, but I love the fact that we used to go out and do things.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a day trip to the Dormouse or a day trip to the Cat Survival Trust, which is all big cats and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the new, well, just going to come on to that in a sec about looking at the programme for next year.
Yeah.
We've got the AGM is the first meeting in the new year. So we need to start thinking about the programme for at least the first 3 to 6 months of the year. We won't go past that because I think until we get into the new year, we won't really know what's going to be happening, will we? But
I think you still be on PDIs, Pete, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
But a lot of us will be entitled to injections for COVID fairly soon, won't we?
Yeah, all you older people will.
Yeah, we're first in line.
You'll be first in line. Yeah, I'm in the under 40s list, so I've got some way to go.
Under 41.
Who are you trying to kid?
That might be waist size.
What's your middle name, Trump?
Hey?
What's your middle name, Trump? he couldn't tell the truth. He couldn't tell the truth. It bit him on the bum.
Can't be Trump. Trump's got hair.
I've got a cut and run, folks. So I'll see you
All
next
right,
time.
See you later.
Cheers then.
Bye, Roy.
Bye, Dave.
Bye.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that was what I was going to mention. Was we've got the AGM's the first meeting in the new year, which is not that far away. So if anybody's got any ideas for the programme, drop me a note and we'll start getting the programme together.
Pete.
Yes.
If you want to look up online, this chap it's just called Pete Mason. Oh, Dean Mason Photography.
Oh, right. Okay.
You've got his prices as well, Sylv, haven't you?
I haven't, no, because it was done as a present for me to go.
Well, I've got them then somewhere.
So you've got, I mean, I can get them from my daughter-in-law because she'll have kept them for us to go another time. But I didn't pay for it because it was a present for me to go with it. Sorry?
We were going to go, weren't we?
We were, absolutely, yeah.
Make it.
I'll find out whether he's still doing it as well. I mean, he might be sort of closed down at the moment because of not only winter, but also because of COVID. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but Dave, going back to what you were saying, we will organise some evenings out again or days out. I mean, in a normal year, we'd have met outside more times than we have this year. But we can certainly look at doing things, and we have mentioned it. We were talking about it about a year ago now, about the fact that nearly like 95% of the membership are retired. So we were going to look at some days out.
Yeah.
But obviously we haven't been able to do it because of circumstances.
Maybe we want to consider 2 programs, which is the sort of stay at home program and an if we can get out program.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows, do they?
No, they don't. No. And in all fairness, we're normally fairly flexible with the program and what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got the PDIs, the monthly PDIs, and we've got a league match to fit in. But other than that, we're fairly flexible on what we can do. But it's about doing things that you want to do. And if anybody wants to, I know Keith very kindly did a presentation. If anybody else wants, and Gary's done one, if anybody else wants to do anything, feel free.
Have you got a league match program yet, Pete?
I've got it. It's online.
Oh, yeah.
There's no. What I'll do, I'll send you the link to the SCPF page, and it's got the league position, and it's also got the dates for the PDIs coming up. But there aren't any until I think the middle of January at the earliest now. So we've had the one match a couple of weeks ago, and that's it until the new year.
Yeah.
It seems that everybody's in our leagues wanting to do it late in sort of February time. Of course, because it's remote, it's a lot easier to organise now. You can do it any night of the week, really.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it on your club night if you don't want
right.
to. Okay, that's pretty much it. The entries for the Len Ferguson Trophy will probably be online sometime tomorrow. I'll let you know when they're there, and I'll give you a list of the pictures. Perhaps to make life easier, if that's all right with you, Colin, I'll get them to send the scores to me. Is that all right? Because I'll give him up to Monday to do it, because what we're going to do is we're going to critique them next Tuesday night, and then after we've critiqued them, I'll give you the scores, and we'll see who the winner is. All right? Do it something a bit different, do it a slightly different way. So I'll send you out a link to that, and we'll put the pictures up on Flickr, and get you to get the scores in. You got all weekend to do it as well, then, so it gives you a bit more time. Okay, anybody else got anything they want to bring up or
have we got a new password now
for the website?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I tried it this morning. Is it
Kodachrome 100 with a capital K?
Oh, capital K. Okay.
Yeah, it's yeah.
That's what I was getting.
You need the capital.
Okay.
You put a normal K in, it won't accept it. Barry, you still awake?
Yes, I've just woke up.
Well done. You didn't miss all that, did you? Do you want me to go through it again?
Yeah, could you just do it all again?
No. All right then, folks.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Pete.
All okay?
Cheers,
Yeah,
Pete. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
I'll get that off to you, Dave Murphy.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Someone mentioned me. What did
I
they say?
said I'll get that email to you about the subs.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I've got no problem paying. I'm quite happy to.
Thank you, Dave.
If you put in something you want me to put through denoise, I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, okay, mate. Lovely.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Take care.
Thank you, Steve.